Good morning, FYI family, and welcome to another broadcast. It's Tuesday, folks. The 30th day of April is gone. It is gone and done with. Tomorrow is the first to May. Believe it or not, good to have each and every one of you on the live this morning. Joining us from many places, Dolly, Anne-Marie Selby, Tommy Gibbs. Good to have all of you. Debbie Collins, Rihanna Roberts, Mingo. Good to have you. Did I call it right? Yeah, Rihanna Roberts, Mingo in the house this morning. Sheena Hazel is here as well. Don't want to miss Sheena. I see Kyle is here as well. Kyle Bino. Good to have all of you on the live this morning, folks. Already, Samo Williams is here too. And folks, we want to welcome each and every one of you to our broadcast this morning. We're just trying to ensure that we are shared. We're not giving action to share the live this morning, as we know you guys are going to use the initiative to share the live and to smash that emoji button. Do let us know how you guys are doing this morning from the many places you're joining us from. We're a minute in and we got so many folks have already joined us. Good to see all of you on the live today. Keyboard who? June Chase, Magnell Barrow here as well. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Happy to be back in the national capital city, even though we're thinking about Port Kaituma, folks. We had a good taste of Port Kaituma. Wish we had gotten some more. Wish we had gotten even better taste. Leon Logan, I'll tell you what I mean. The folks from Port Kaituma, they do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Tubers and all. The folks from Port Kaituma did show us a very hospitable time. No problems there. Good morning, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to For Your Information, FYI. Welcome to FYI, folks. We give you a little bit, one or two things to start today, put things in perspective. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Morning, Toby, Dwayne Collins, Deborah Mitchell, Debbie. Deb's how you doing? Claire Alexis Charmley Richmond is here as well. Scores of folks have joined us this morning on our broadcast. Hope you guys are good. Gotta get myself a haircut later on today. I find when I was younger, we used to cut my hair once per month. Now I don't know. I got fewer hair, but I cut it more often. I don't understand it. Kyle says loud and clear. Production manager Kyle Bino, he says loud and clear. Thank you, Kyle. Debbie says she's doing good. That's important, you know. How are you guys doing? Anybody ask you that for the morning? Some people ask you, but they don't wait for the response. They don't wait. How are you guys doing this morning? We're interested to know. When some folks ask me how I'm doing, I ask, how much time you got? I got a couple of things in my chest. How much time you all got this morning? How much time you wonderful folks got this morning? Got a couple of things I want to share with you. I got my chest. How much time you got? Dolly, Belinda, Holt, Anderson. Belinda, how you doing? Yeah. What's his name? Neil Diamond has a song, but Belinda. Belinda was mine until the time I found her holding Jim, loving him. Watch them Belinda's, eh? Belinda, good morning. Brenda Moore is here. Brenda's here with us. Trevor Davidson. You all know about Neil Diamond and sir, you all have a different age. You know, I got appreciation for Neil Diamond from my mother. My mother, Lynette. Lynette Hall Duncan. It's Hall without the S. Maiden name Hall. Yeah. Yeah. Our father was John Henry. Come from good stock, you know. Sometimes that's disgrace the whole family. 1 and 2 times, but for the most part, they were doing me. Margaret Nelson, good morning. Debbie Hadley, Edward Rooms, Kyle Bino, Dolly Anderson. Hope you folks are good. Hope you folks are well from the many places you're joining us from. The first 15. Oh, something here is sparkling a little bit. Oh, hope everything is well. Something here is sparkling a little bit. Your little catch fire, begging. Something sparkling. Folks, how are you guys doing this morning? How are you wonderful folks? I'm going to try to, if you all hear the chair dragging, it's me. You don't got to worry. You know the old thing. You hear the chair dragging a little bit. You hear it pushing a little bit. You know the whole thing, the whole story. Good morning, folks, from the many places. Many places you all are joining us from. Oh, we're privileged to have you folks here. Privileged to have you lovely folks on with us. It's another day. All right, it's a little better now. It's a little better now. Belinda Halls, hope you're good. Evelina Whitaker. Luan Hall is here too. All the Halls come out. Luan, my grandmother, was Hall by marriage, not to my grandfather. Previously, before she met the man from Berbice that changed her whole life. Yeah, my grandfather was from Berbice. You always tell me, get the Berbice girl. I hope I do them proud. Yeah, my grandfather was from Berbice, but my grandmother was married Hall before she met him. I don't know if it's he broke up the family and so on. You know? Some people like to broke up some happy homes. I don't know if it's he. I delve down into my family issue. I go down into it. I go down. Right down into it. So that's my grandparents and my grandmother's side. Y'all know your family story. Brenda says her grandmother was a Henry from Essegrebo. Could be. My grandfather's is Henry. My mother's father was Henry. But her stepdad was Johnson. And before Johnson, my mother had my grandmother was a little hot girl. That's why it's left them young people. You know you want to take up your whole family history. You got some things in there too. Yeah. My grandmother was a little hot girl. Yeah. So there was John, my grandfather. There's Mr. Hall. Somewhere in between there. Then was Mr. Johnson. She rallied out with Mr. Johnson the longest though. God bless them. He has transitioned. Did so in 2012. And she's with us still. You know, all that the lady doing, she still lays strong. Still lays strong. The Bible's right. The good book was right. Tommy Gibbs is good as die young. It's good. It's good. That's what we hear rallied out. Rallying out. Yeah, that's the whole thing. On my father's side, my father's parents came, my father's father, my grandfather, my father's side, came from the Pomeroon, went to Mabaruma, met the old girl there, Olive Osario from Mabaruma. The Osarios in Mabaruma is my family, if you all watching. And then they went to Matthews Ridge after that. Now come rung by, what's her name? Big shout out to the folks at Matthews Ridge, because it's in Matthews Ridge, my hot girl mother now met my father. She went to teach and met the National Service fella. Like the guy in uniform. Boom. I hear a couple of years later. Them old people in time they're hot, you know. Them old people in time they're hot. Naomi says his family. I ain't seen the one before that, Naomi. She says she was his cousins. Yeah. All Guyanese related. Somewhere the next. I don't know where this race thing come from. I don't know where this race thing come from. But it's a lot. So I'm thinking about the beautiful folks there at I see my aunt on the live now. She not talking the whole family story. It's big family conference after the show, you know. You talks too much. You talks too much. I can see them messaging each other now. Yeah. Yep. Talks too much. Grandma would say, open your mouth like a big pot. Saluting the family trees this morning. Folks, a lot happening. You seen that? Port Kaituma family? There's a lot happening. Oh, we had a good time. Marvin know the whole story. Marvin know the whole thing. Loose lips, sink ships. Look how he's singing this family this morning. Look how he's singing his whole family this morning. Loose lips, sink ships. So we had a good time in Port Kaituma, folks. And there's a lot to be desired of the things the current government, the People's Progressive Party, Civic. A lot to be desired of some of the things they're doing in Port Kaituma and elsewhere, as we've been showing. They should be ashamed to having a party conference. They should be so busy trying to rectify some of the nonsense, some of the foolishness, poor and shoddy construction that is happening to have time for party conference. What are they going to be reporting on? Is Port Kaituma going to be on the agenda? Family, FYI family, is Port Kaituma going to be on the agenda? Is it? That's a good question to ask. Is it going to be on the agenda? Without a garnet? But I want to thank the good folks of Kaituma for their hospitality. If I had the time, I'd have gone up to Matthews Ridge and traced back the family history. When the Duncan met the Osario, and some of we spring out here now. And I like what Marcy Agar said. The shoddy construction and so on is not just idiosyncratic or idiosyncratic to Port Kaituma. We saw some of it in Wickenham as well. We say Wickenham, it's the same place. We saw some of it there too, and we highlighted it. What's going down? And then when we came a little closer to home, yet still in Region 3, we showed you some of the pump stations. Now the rest of the media seem to be catching up with us. There's a lot happening there in Port Kaituma. We met some lovely folks. Oh my God, the hugs, the smooches. You know, some folks even give us a fine raise. Boom. Some folks understand the struggle, you know. Some folks understand the struggle. You have to go to Port Kaituma? 47,000 return. Hotel, 8,000 a night. Food and transportation and so on. Folks say, all right, I can buy lunch today for you. Take a water, take a juice. Thank you for your hospitality. Thanks to our counselor there. All our counselors, after AFC counselors, working hard on the ground there in Port Kaituma. Give all of y'all a shout out. The coalition family there in Kaituma. Big shout out to you folks. Elizabeth and Ryan said, good morning, neighbor. Near but yet far. Good morning, folks. Share the live as you come on this morning to Mind People Business. Smash that emoji button as well. We had a good time in Port Kaituma. The folks are very hospitable, like most places in this country, if you leave out the politics. If you leave out the politics. We were going through a place called The Crack in Port Kaituma. We got to do a separate piece on just The Crack. It's a unique piece of real estate in Port Kaituma. What happens in the crack stays in the crack. Like most cracks. A unique piece of real estate. You go through the crack, you get anything. And as I was saying, one thing I fought our hosts in Port Kaituma for. Port Kaituma got a lot of Spanish, but I ain't had none. I sampled at least 75-80% of what is Port Kaituma. I hear about the world famous Spanish. I ain't telling if it's Spanish rice, if it's what? The world famous Spanish in Port Kaituma. But like I ain't worthy. Even I had a beautiful time through the crack. Right? I was waiting for when they said, all right. Compliments of PK. Right? June Cameron, good morning. Kyle Bino said it was a proper crack. A proper crack. A lot of things cracking up in Port Kaituma though. A lot of things cracking up in Port Kaituma. A lot. The graphics like you can test us this morning. Look what the thing is cracking up. Folks, if you go to Port Kaituma, sample the cafe on the airport. Some lovely delicacies. Sample the cafe. And then if you go into the township, it's not a big place, so you go in town, ask them more now. Morning got some beautiful foods there. Home away from home. In the morning, lunch. Morning got some beautiful stuff there. And I'm trying to remember the other wonderful place we had lunch at. You know, sample the eateries in Port Kaituma. But see this government and regime, they do a lot of foolishness in Kaituma. And we pointed some out on our program last evening. Concrete roads, supposed to be the strongest. Not so in Port Kaituma. A road was recently completed. They call it catwalk, or the catwalk. I remember the catwalk from University of Guyana. It was a different catwalk. That catwalk is a strong catwalk. The people who built UG, Forest Boredom. Strong catwalk there at UG. But this catwalk here in Port Kaituma, different. Different. The concrete get up and walk away and left the steel. Got up and walked away. Left the steel, folks. True story, true story. The concrete, oh, it's so shameful. Get up and walk away and left the steel. Recently completed road, you know, folks. We kid you not. Recently completed road there in Port Kaituma. Just finish it. And that's the state of affairs there. One of them boys said a meeting at the Artichong Convention Center. Notice the party paramountcy here. No separation of party and state. The Artichong Convention Center is a state-managed facility. Them boys have the conference there. They say a lot of flags on the East Coast to give the impression that everything regular. But it's not. You know that. I know that. Beginning with these roads here in Port Kaituma. Brenda Casey, Amit Sita, Gwen Anderson. Yeah. That's the condition of the road there. And there are a couple other projects too. You got to be worried about. I hope Brenda Lashney watching us this morning. Good morning, Regional Chairman. What's happening with this boat here? What's happening with this boat? Boat just parked. The engine problems. And if they don't get it fixed quite soon, next thing, the whole boat missing. And then they showed us a particular boat, Naomi. Naomi, this would interest you. And this is why I vexed. They said this boat is bring a different boat, not this one here. This one just break down. This can't bring nobody. But regional seeing it. You think they're discussing this boat at this PAP internal conference coming up here? They show us a special boat. Sorry, we have it up in the graphic here. That this boat is bringing the Spanish. Naomi, they said this boat is bringing the Spanish. They showed us some other boats. They said these boats bringing the fuel from Venezuela. For Jagdio them. That's what they told us. I think it's one thing wrong in this country. You think it's one thing wrong? Good morning to folks at Port Kaituma. So this boat breakdown, like the NDC leadership would break down. It is the epitome. It epitomizes the NDC, the Neighborhood Democratic Council's leadership there in Port Kaituma. Amit Sidel says poor electricity. So the boat break, that's one. So when these things happen, it's not the end, it's the beginning of sorrows. Somebody took prayer this morning because the Port Kaituma nursery school overcrowded. It's overcrowded, folks. Overcrowded. And when we talk about friends, family, and favorites, the folks that get in these projects to rectify, my Lord, Father have mercy. Father have mercy. Right? You got projects where parents got to donate money, 5,000, 10,000, to help upkeep the school. In Little Guyana, in Little Dubai. Just to keep things running. Naomi, Felicia, to keep things going. Parents gotta be donating money to the schools. You think it's easy there in Port Kaituma, like elsewhere? We showed you this chicken coop project. Designed and constructed. Somebody tell them residents wanted places to rear their chickens in Port Kaituma. Since the place constructed, not one chicken. Not a chicken a day yet. Since this place constructed. Not a chicken. We have to go for see for ourselves. Because we said, at least if we can get a Spanish, at least we can get a chicken. You know? If we can get a Spanish. You know, usually we say colloquially in Guyana, if you're a foreigner, the lava and the black water can make you stay. Right? That's the Bina. The lava and the black water. In Port Kaituma, oh, you touch a Spanish, you won't come back down no more. Spanish break up a lot of family in this country, you know. Yeah? This is a medium-scale poultry rearing project. Right? I should say it's a medium-scale rearing project because the poultry missing. The poultry. Yeah. And this little project here costs about $35-40 million. That's what we're hearing. About $35-40 million. And just like in Vietnam, you see some places built for providing water, potable water to people, and serving that purpose. This place we saw 2 miles water supply. We saw a little pipe spitting water. You know? Spitting water. And the residents told us it just started back working a little short while ago. I want we have the other graphic with the other water supply system. That's a white elephant. Why don't we have the graphic? Good morning to the regional chairman, Brendan Lashley, region number 1. Brendan, how these projects pass a muster, man? How these projects getting signed off by engineers? Projects in. Tell me how it's happening. Camille Cox, how is that happening? How is that happening? Folks, over the weekend, we got a meeting by Camille's end. The Alliance for Change has its leadership meeting, regional leadership meeting on Saturday in Rose Hall by Camille. Looking forward to seeing Camille over the weekend. Camille is on with us this morning. So when Sheikh Bash from Guyana Water Incorporated talks about wells at the building, we got to find it. Are they working, Sheikh? Shake out the place, man, Sheikh Bash. We saw the very same thing in Wakenham. So I guess Wakenham people shouldn't feel special. But the same corruption that existing in Wakenham is existing in Kaituma. And that's why we got to go on the ground. Slippers on the ground to see the issues. I feel I touched every car in this country already, but I still got a lot of places to go because the people keep telling me, you gotta come. Mr. Duncan, when people say Mr. Duncan, I just feel like 70. You gotta come, Sherrod. All right. Sign me up. But that plane fly though. Oh, that little plane. Zing, 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 zing. Father. Rami Nera. Nera, blessed Lord. When I was young, I had stomach for them. Those kind of thrills. Now I want my feet firmly planted on the ground. Firmly. So I can see what these jagabats doing. Folks, it's not easy in this country. It's not easy. I'm coming to some even more graver problems. So the wells in Welling. Right? And unlike this government, they're pumping, but they're producing nothing. Exxon pumping. Your life's better for it. GWI pumping. We better for it. Kwame pumping. Anil pumping. We better for it. Jagdio pumping. Are we better for it? Jagdio pumping, but he producing nothing. How long we can tolerate Jagdio pumping and not producing anything? If you can't produce anything, move up the scene, man. I know a couple of people who can get this thing done. I know a couple of folks. I just walking you through a couple of the things we saw. Thanks, Diana. Dan Abrams said the well and well. The well's not well. Right? See this girl, Naomi? They're pumping, but not producing. Jagdio said pump, baby, pump. But we ain't seeing the effects. You know when you're pumping, you're supposed to feel something. Tommy? Everett? When you're pumping, you should be feeling something. Not with these guys here. Nobody's better off for it. Be wasting time then. If people are pumping, you're not feeling anything, you're wasting time. Tommy says, jab your head, blocking the way. It's true. I feel so. So, we saw a couple wells in PK, Port Kaituma. The wells, not well. They're pumping, but not producing anything. We told you guys of the primary school and the challenges there. space and parents got to be paying out of pocket. But things the ministry should be looking into. Leslie want to know what jack you're pumping. Leslie. It's a morning show. I want to go deeper. I want to scare you out for life. Lyndon Jones. I want to scare you out for life. Please and thank you. The secondary school got its own problems too. The dorms of Port Kaituma got some challenges as well. If you're from Port Kaituma, share the live. If you're in PK, share the live. Leslie said, well, Dolly said pim. Folks, if you gotta explain to you, where's pim? All right, in the wrong place. That is the beauty of the real Guyanese language. You only have to say 2 words, you know, and the same word twice. You know the whole thing. Pim. Maxime Monroe, you don't need nothing else. That's how the Guyanese language is so potent. That's how Guyanese live. A little, you do much with it. You learn that under this iteration of this regime. To take little and do much. Some of the salaries people earn in this country, it's a miracle. Miracle. People get by. Then they say, working home 30,000 a month, 40,000, 50,000. We learn to do much with little. Throw back sand and build house. Good morning, Morna. Folks, Morna, I was just telling them, when they come into Port Kaituma, they got the sample Mornas. You all ask people, man, we're morning there. They can show you all. Find out the Morna establishment there and patronize. Lovely food there. Lovely, lovely food. Good morning, Morna and company. The dorms of the secondary school administration got its own problems. But I want to comment on the dorms there. They said the dorms, mother and father, I'll tell you what the people told us. We went to listen to the people, not to do PR for Brenton Lashley and company. The people said, Just like pim, you only gotta get 2 words. It's the same word. But repeat it twice. A different connotation. If I just say pim, that makes sense. If I just say no sense at all. When you say pim, and you apply the right intonation, you know the whole thing. You know the whole story. Good morning to you and the entire family there, your daughter next door. Good morning. Good morning, Port Kaituma. So we're just touching a couple things, you know. We're really unpacking. We're really deep diving. And then you got a wharf in a portion of Port Kaituma called, what's it called again, folks? Orinoco. Am I calling it right? Morna, tell me if I got it right. You got a piece called, my Jesus of mercy. Morna, tell me if I got the area right. It's Orinoco, Orinduke. Remind me. You know the PVP famous wharf when they finish building it, the wharves just float away. This one got an advanced design. This one got an advanced design. The warfare is getting ready to take flight. The warfare is getting ready to float away. Yeah, it's getting ready to float away. And this is very serious because this has implications for life and limb. For life and limb. Take a look.
We're in Lock Pond, Ornock. It's an area in Port Kaituma. And we're looking at a Stelling that has been constructed here. And there are a number of defects that they're telling us. It's happening here at the Stelling. Quite across the other side there, a huge portion of the Stelling is already cracking. And there's another area just behind us on this side. Let me make sure I can get it right. Yeah, let me see if I can take it on the other side. A number of cracks appearing in the Stelling on this side here. Just beyond this here, a number of cracks. Well, rather in this particular area here, they're telling us that the earth here is shifting, and we're going to try to get you some of that. But the earth is shifting in this area here, and is pushing out some of the revetment work further into this river here, just behind us. So again, this contract is being executed here at Lock Pond. And it's an area in Port Kaituma, Ornock. It's an area in Ornock in Port Kaituma. And a number of issues being identified here. And we just came to look to see what exactly is going on. Taxpayers in this country must get value for money. And clearly the design of this structure here, or the execution of that design, is flawed. Very, very flawed in several ways. And we're just going to have a look at it. Again, folks, again, we're in an area called Lock Pond here in Port Kaituma, and a number of defects in the structural work, just beyond this here, a number of defects in the structural work. And where I just showed you on this side, a number of defects as well. And this one looks even more dangerous because they're telling us some of the soil is shifting here and pushing out the revetment work a little lower down, and we're going to try to show you guys some of that. So that's some of what's happening here, folks. And this is a Stelling, a wharf of some kind, and they're telling us that Barama usually bring out locks just beyond us there. Or let me come this way. Just in this direction there, you might see a pontoon in the background there, that Barama brings out logs from further downriver and into the back, that side, logs on that side. And again, just looking at some of the structural defects in this area here. Yep. Port Kaituma, Region 1, folks.
Yeah, now this has a lot of implications. That cracking, you see that white area behind me there? That's where that cracking is occurring. That's a huge slab of concrete wall they're putting up there, and the arrow points to that area where that cracking is occurring. And it's a big split. It's like the earth shook there. A quake happened, and that cracking is appearing there. And the front of the Stelling. So if that cracking on its own, a boat can't touch that, the whole Stelling would fall into the river. Marna, what's that river there? Huh? What's that river there? I see Boomy Douglas says bam bam. Not the phrase. You know the whole thing. Bam bam. That is where that cracking is occurring. And that's the front of the Stelling. And they covered up. That's why it's covered up there. Trying to cover up the problem. That's the cracking occurring there. I saw the photograph. Don't do it justice. Huge cracks appearing. Who shared the live this month? Y'all tag somebody from Kaituma, man. Hope y'all sharing us to the WhatsApp groups in Port Kaituma. Sharing us to the Facebook profiles and pages of Port Kaituma. Huge cracks. And this one is government going down at Arthur Chung Conference Center. So they're having a PVP conference. But this will make the agenda. Right? That's what we're doing in this country, covering up the problems. That's what's happening in the Public Procurement Commission. Big cracks. showing the corruption, but they're trying to cover it up. Huge cracks showing the corruption. Pim, pim. Bam, bam. Pim, pim. Bam, bam. When Brown just reminded us of the charity wharf. That's what I'm talking about. Float away. Now, this is not my forte. I don't know all the technical linguistics to explain what's happening here. But I know a crack when I see one. I know you can't just building something and the thing don't crack. This thing is not 25 years old yet. Unless this cracking is part of the design. You crack it before it's like how people used to take down the door before the bandits kick it off. Before the bandits kick it down. The solution is to take down the door so the bandits don't have none to kick down. Damage your proper doors. Somebody tag one HL. Somebody tag Ministry of Public Works. This is what they're doing with taxpayers' money. This is what they're doing with taxpayers' money. Wasting it. And this is what happens when you give to friends, family, and favorites. You think the worst one. Folks, I wish I had y'all on the ground, man. Right? I got to organize a tour. I have a tour company with a difference. We're going to tour failed projects. Because I know some of y'all watch this and y'all don't believe. Mind you, I got about a good 17, 18 other things to talk about this morning. We're 40 minutes in and we're still in Kaituma. Rastaman says designers crack. But look, story here now. The other side of that cracked wall, this other wall, you see the revetment there? You got the river to one side, and then you got the Stelling on the other side, the wharf. This wall's supposed to be straight. The wall got a turn. Folks, this is your taxpayers' dollar. Guyanese taxpayers' dollar. Oil money going to fund this. The wall's supposed to be straight. This is the front of the Stelling. The wall got a turn. You got to go around a bend. Red flag right away. This is what happened. When you give friends, family, and favorites, Marcy Agar said maybe it's a design. I believe so. The wall got a turn. You're sharing this life. This is what we went and see for ourselves. There's nobody told us this. I went on this wall. I'm walking on this thing here. I said to myself, how I can explain to my wife if I fall in this place now and drown? This is where my fastest bring me. I on this wall walking to get another problem. Walking to get another problem. On this wall here. I watch this river. I know it all. 6'2", 6'3". So what if I fall in here now? If I could stand up. If I could stand up. But I say gotta show up in this. Sabina Jacobs, Neon Harding, Loretta. I gotta show them Rosie Rose, the valid and credible information. The wall got a turn. Let me go says a wastage of taxpayers' money. You know, the people see and going to these regions. I see the Public Procurement Commission on tour. They're not going to these regions. The wall got a turn. Folks, these folks will run a government. If you can't build, I guess in this business here, I want maybe just another thing you got to construct. Right? You know what you got it. If you know what you know, you know what you know. They want to run a whole government. You understand why Skeldon, when the way Skeldon went? The Skeldon modernization project. You understand why? That had a turn to. You understand why? The fiber optic cable. And the same people come back, you know. You understand why the fiber optic cable project had it torn? Same people, Cherry Jagan International Airport, building for the last 30 years. Building for the last, Cherry must be turn in the grave when you see what they put the name on. We try with it to bring it up to a sensitive. You know when a pot spoil. You know when a pot spoil, you gotta try and, you know when the pot turn, like this thing here. You gotta try and number things. The airport is done spoil. We trying for, there's only so much you can do. Postmortem don't bring back that. It's one of the ugliest airports in the world. Me waiting for the train that didn't sell me. The Jamaicans, the Barbadians, the St. Lucians, the antique. I sent for myself. I called it first. It's one of the ugliest airports in the world. If you got fetching water for flush the toilet, the project got to turn like this. I don't know all of the technical things. Right? If this is a revetment, what is it? A facade? What is it? It's corruption. Folks, I'm telling you, the piece we just saw is a portion next door that cracks going through it. They said it's submersible they find in Port Kaituma recently. This will come up in this crack here. Right? In this crack here, that will be submerged. The crack's so big. And then the wall next door, bend in the road. Is that never a novel? A bend in the road? The wall, but hold on. 46 minutes in. Now we touch all the things we got lined up. I'm going to run y'all through them in an attempt to be a hero. The good book says, when these things happen, it's not the end, Raphael. The good book says the beginning of sorrows. This is what I want to foist on the people of Port Kaituma, the good, beautiful people of Port Kaituma. This is what I want to... Kyle know the whole thing. Kyle says like when milk turn, the whole thing sour and stink. Wicked stink and sour. The thing just turned, you know. Right? What I'm about to show you next. See, when I walk up this, when I walk around this turn here, you get to the end, it's what I can show you next. Because the revetment work is happening there. You know, the whole project stopped. The whole project stopped to call in the real experts now. To call in the real people who should get the contract in the first place to fix it. The folks there, want to tell good morning to you. I should just say morning. Bishop. Some of that crack, the cracks that you're seeing there. You see that? That's just ordinary, you know. The folks took us there. They said, you see that? Imagine in front of that, there's a steel revetment. I want you to understand what's happening there. They've already driven down a steel revetment. And whatever studies they didn't do, failed to do, omitted to do, the land is pushing out the steel revetment. And that's why you're getting those cracks now. That's the earth, you know. This is not concrete now. This is the earth that they already have. This is the earth. Flat. They already have a steel revetment in front of it. And the earth pushing out. But Father of his mercies. And those are the cracks you're seeing along the soil now. Where the Stelling and just fall into the river. Either points, where the concrete cracking or where the earth just giving way. That's what's happening there. Now, this project is already over $1 billion. It's already over $1 billion. You could imagine what's going to take to come and fix this now? This is what happens when friends, family, and favorites. What you see now, you're going to see Edger gone up there. They're trying to do some PR. Right? You can hear how he tried with the contractors, value for dollars. How you get value for dollar when every contractor give 15% gonna come back to the party, plus a minister gonna get a cut, plus some friend and some other family, somebody else working by the ministry, gonna get some cuts. Huh? How you gonna reprimand them? Satan can't cast out Satan. Margaret said cracks of corruption. Cracks everywhere. Cracks of corruption. 50 minutes in, we still on Port Kaituma. 50 minutes into our broadcast. We plan to do about 20 minutes. But the issues are many. We didn't touch everything. We're going to get another program just to try to cover some of the other ground. Magnet Barrow know the whole story. Magnet said both gone for can't turn back. These things on the agenda for the PVP conference coming up, we put them Jummy flags. These things on the agenda. Who was the Jummy flags coming down the East Coast? These things on the agenda for this meeting. And that is why people are saying, even though they're supposed to be calling a date for election, you might hear a date announced out of this conference, PP conference, they might try to push the election down because they know nobody voting for them with this kind, with cracks of corruption. Ain't nobody going to be voting for them. Things in this mess here. But this is what is happening. We're not trying to be facetious. This is not propaganda, this is facts. This is facts. I see some of y'all squirming in your seats right now that support the PvP because y'all rather this be hidden. A light set in a hill, a lamp, the good book says, can be hidden. And this is little Dubai for you. This is transformation, transformational leadership of Irfan Ali. However y'all want to put it in, whatever euphemism, this is cracks of corruption. Corrupted cracks. Because they will always be what they always been. Corrupt. Friends, family, and favorites. And take us another program to walk through all that we saw. Before I let you guys go, a couple of the other things we found. Y'all think it's easy in this place? Huh? Y'all think it's easy in this place? Look, Region 3. In this morning's paper, I think it's Starbuck News, Port Kaituma residents affected by flooding. They want the pump station project sped up. We were in Region 3 and covered this very pump station. This is not the new nation. It's not the key out of Alliance for Change, the new nation out of the PNCR. Starbuck News doing its own independent journalism, speaking with residents there in Port Kaituma. Speaking with residents there in Port. Look at what we saw when we went to this very pump station. There are nothing says propaganda. Propaganda. Take a look.
This area here has no one at the moment. There's a bobcat on that side there. I can see some action on that side. There's a river down at that end there. And we just want to get a sense of what could possibly be happening here. Some of what's happening down at this end, folks. Again, this area here is Port Kaituma, and this is the Demerara River that's behind us that way. And there is a narrow dam here, some revetment work you see happening on this side here. Actually, this black tarp, it's not a tarp, but that's what I'm calling it. It's black tarp. And this is an inlet here from the Demerara River happening. That's what's going on here. That's what's going down here. And in this direction, you have a kind of a security hut. And in the other direction, again, this is that inlet I told you about a second ago. On that side, here is a bobcat here. And as I said, not much happening here. There's nobody here. Two pieces of machinery idle. Nothing's happening here. All right, as I did say, folks, I have Ganesh Mahi Paul with me. I'm falling down here. And I'm going to ask Ganesh his thoughts on what's happening here, because Ganesh has been following up on this. In these projects generally, he is the member of parliament with responsibility for Region 3. You'd have seen us at Wakenham only recently. A lot of fallout since we visited Wakenham. Ganesh, you good?
Yes, I am. How are you?
I'm good too. All right, we got the gentleman pass, yes? Yeah. So, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Ganesh, talk to us about what's happening here.
So, Sherrod, this is the Podrine pump station site. The village over this one side is Podrine, and over this one side is Plantain Walk. And this is the coker that provides drainage to the communities of Beskline, Podrine, and Plantain Walk. A contract was awarded for the construction of a pump station here to the tune of $981 million to Spectry Construction. And that award was made on August the 3rd, I think, of 2023. And as we see, we are right now in 2024. The duration is a 1-year period. And as we see, we are here on site. And I see that there has been some pile driving. I see that there has been some clearing of vegetation. But I have not seen any form of clearing of the topsoil so that you can begin the foundation and the base. And I haven't seen any work of great magnitude. And I am to find out from the ministry through NDIA how much money was released in terms of that first payment for mobilization and those kind of things. So this is what we're seeing here, and there's an aerial shot, and we are going to, of course, expose the public to the aerial shot. The problem is we have a dry season, as everybody knows, and these pump stations are primarily to cater for flooding and to ease the amount of water on the land. I fear that there may come a time when rain will fall heavily, and this will not complete. The place will be inundated, and we will have to go into emergency work to give friends, families, and favorites contracts to dredge trenches and so on. But the thing is, you have the time is here. The work here, the time is here. And you have the time to do the work, but I don't know what's causing the delay. I'll have to find out what is causing the delay.
All right, and that is some of what we heard on the ground there. When we were there in Region 3, looking at those pump stations, just one of many that we were trying to get an update on, trying to get the valid and credible information for you folks. So I hope you get a sense of what's happening nationally here. We saw the same thing in Wakenham. We're seeing the same thing now closer to Georgetown here in Port in Region 3, just a hop and skip over the Harbour Bridge. And then look at what's happening also where Port Kaituma is concerned. You understand what's happening here? These boys shouldn't even be given a corner shop to manage. Shouldn't even be given a corner shop to manage. And I love this comment here. Thank you so much, Naomi. Naomi says, Sharon, you really putting boots on the ground. This is what we committed to doing as a member of parliament, keeping them honest. We know how much you guys appreciate the valid and credible information. And it's one of the reasons why we asked you all to partner with us. We ain't buying fancy car and shoes and belt and socks and so on. It's to just help us to go the extra mile. As I told you all, that little venture to Port Kaituma was about $140,000. As he says that per person, right? Per person. Now, if I tell you all, in this show per month, we probably raise about $30,000. You understand? How is a drop in the bucket? It's a labor love. It's a labor love. And I know when we make the request to say, partner with us, some folks say, not me money, but people don't mind coming here and getting an hour of content. We have to be different than the other shows, because I don't just want to come here and talk empty-headed stuff, and we're not into slandering people for the sake of slandering people. They're trying to be propagandistic and sensational. This is what is happening. I don't know if it's off of our reporting. Sabbath News went and did their own independent checks, and their headline this morning is Port Drying residents affected by flooding. One pump station project sped up. And 2 weeks ago, we were there and showed you that report. Of course, we were ahead. Of course, we were ahead. Valid, credible information. And again, folks, I want to ask those of you who may not have made a decision as yet to partner with us. A couple of folks have done so. You can make a one-time donation. You can see the link flying past you. Or $10 a month. It'll help to get us into some far-flung places. We start touching villages in this country that we might have touched every region. But to really deep dive into this governance of this government, corrupt as it is, we want to do more of it. So thank you, Naomi, for that cover. You said, Sharon, you really putting boots on the ground. There's no other way to do the politics. We have to go on the ground. There's no other way to win an election. We got to go on the ground. We got to go on the ground. So as we wrap up, let me run you through some of those other headlines this morning. Public Procurement Commission in Region 5. I want to go Region 1 and go Port Kaituma. Lots to uncover there. Public Procurement Commission. The same commissioner said they can't do nothing but board nest contract. He building water, Board nest building water from pump station. He building water from pump station too. All right. Pim. You know the whole thing. Pim. Bam. Look story now. Them kids fighting. Christchurch boy beaten with belt by fellow students. You see all this school violence permeating, bubbling up. That's another headline. Look what happened with Sivan's driver. Shot. Mass bandits grab payroll. Crime on the increase. What Ben doing? Bandits grab Sivan's payroll. Shoot driver. What Ben doing? Hamilton now realizing. Joseph Hamilton now realizing, folks. I want to get this graphic better. Now realizing workplace accident. We touched on this weeks ago. What's happening there with industrial OHS, occupational health and safety, on the work sites. Weeks ago, we called so many names to you folks. And if I could just find my place in the notes as we wrap up. Now them boys catching up. Oh, workplace accidents are increasing when compared with last year. It has just dawned on them. Right? This is reason why your boys should just speak out. You're wasting time. You're wasting time. Beat out. He just dawned on he. You gotta stay ahead on these things. Stay ahead on these things. Watch the trends on these things. But them boys sleeping. Sleeping on the walk. Just trying to get this thing better so you can see it. Sleeping on the job, folks. We're wrapping up on this side. Yeah. Sleeping on the job. So he's now woken up. I think it's gonna run a little better now. He's now waking up. We believe in doing things right. Now actually, you can see more of it now. He's now woken up. I love the realization. Right? Workplace deaths are now going up. And we showed you here on this very broadcast the amount of workplace deaths. We're very concerned. Very, very concerned with what's happening here. Them boys now jump up. Now wake up on the issue of these workplace deaths. They're now they're now surfacing. Right? We've been following them. They might not have been following them, but we've been following them. The accident at Pretty Paul Investment. Right? Ravi Charan lost his life there. Ravi Charan, Simangal lost his life there. Right? We followed the one at the Freedom Hoop Shore Base, where Russ Bell, Azokar lost his life there. All of that is this year. Then there was the industrial accident on the Imam Bacchus and Sons complex. Lennox McPherson, the Imam Bacchus and Son complex, that was the Mindra Narayan lost his life there. Guyana Shields Resources Incorporated, another mining accident. Lennox McPherson lost his life there. We've been following this. I'm now waking up. Now waking up. Mignon Phillips, wife to the Prime Minister, says women in Guyana must prioritize speaking up. Have we been talking about violence against women and girls? Mignon now waking up and start speaking up herself. Right? It's not too late. I'm happy to see the Prime Minister's wife speaking up finally. A lot of atrocities has been happening against our women and girls. I never hear from Mignon. I hear from Arya Ali. Are you just wearing the latest shoes, belt, hat, purse, dress? Latest and most expensive. But nobody is speaking up for women and girls. Mignon just wake up. And she now starts speaking up herself. But better late than never. Better late than never. And then we spoke with the mayor last night. The mayor said local government ministry was involved in the removal of the vendors. Parag here telling untruths. Minister Parag outside telling untruths. You know how they undermine the local government, the local area authorities, undermine the regions, undermine the municipalities. The former Tushao there in 4 Miles didn't talk to me last night and tell us the corruption happening there. And why they're not moving the current Tushao? Who involved in all of that? Those allegations of corruption. Why not? That's how they like it. So when they say, tell you how high for jump, or tell you to jump, he asked how high. So they were involved in removal of the vendors in front of Demico House. She says, now we, not us. And then we saw some of the beautiful folks of Lane Avenue receiving building material voucher. Everything that is on offer belongs to us as Guyanese. It's not PP money, it's ours. But we are quite surprised. Since this promise was made last year, June, during local government, people seem to now get around to it. Offering building materials to the folks there at Lane Avenue. Since last year, local government election, I see some other places get things over and over and over and over. One thing's long time in coming for some other places. But we happy, take everything. Good folks of Lane Avenue, y'all take everything. Some people's gonna charge a drop. You just gotta know people in this country. Shooting charge against a Equipo businessman. Drop. You got some other issues before the courts. No evidence. Here with election rigging and electoral fraud. 3.5 years running, 4 years now. 4 years now. We see a Equipo businessman. His little dust up, he was in gunplay, serious business in a country like ours. Should be dealt with seriously in a country like ours. As we on the Essequibo, businessman, gold smuggling charges. He on $120,000 bail. Right? A man just said, call a trench crop on a Jagabat. My bail was close to $300,000. And this a freedom of the press society that we live in. It's close to $300,000. A man just said his feelings were hurt. Alleging I call him a trench crop on a Jagabat. And he demonstrated it for us. Close to 300,000, I think it was. Gold smuggling, 120. Tech bail. Just running you guys through some of the things. Some of the other things you wanted to cover. The first 15 things we think you ought to consider as Saturday today. Big gunplay on the seawall. Old grievance. Vehicle collision leads to gunfight. It's the OK Corral, the Wild Wild West, gunfight on the seawall. What are the other things we're following this morning? Bagotstown labor stabbed to death. That's the country we're living in. And Robeson just ambling through on a go slow. Home Affairs Minister. Crime just beating us. Right. Thomas Robeson. Guyana Suriname, French Guyana signed security master plan. We don't even have a domestic security plan, much more to have a master plan. But then Robeson always distracted. Always distracted from his own mandate. Always distracted. And then some letters to the editor, letters to the press, quite revealing. To show the indigenous villages are going to be voting for their leaders shortly. An interesting letter in today's paper says, to show debates are a good way for candidates to outline their plans and blueprints for their respective communities. Interesting. We believe so too. It will be a good way. And as we wrap up, folks, former Minister Annette Ferguson in today's press has a letter out there. Homes in Prospect and Diamond area constructed for low-income citizens all show evidence of shoddy workmanship. Yeah. What they can tell us, we ain't seen it in Port Kaituma. We ain't seeing it in the projects, Region 3 with the pump station. We ain't seen it in Wakeana. God, can't get good quality out of these boys at all. You just can't. Those are some of the things we think you ought to consider as we begin the day today. Valid, credible information. Valid and credible information. We want to thank all of you for joining us this morning. It's been our privilege to be here with you guys sharing the valid and credible information. Please and thank you. Valid and credible all the way. And I want to thank Be Meant. Person knows themselves. For the contribution via YouTube. Thank you so much for that contribution. It's going to help us to keep on keeping on. Thank you for that contribution. Be Meant. Thank you so much. Dolly, thanks for being here. Sonia Massey Cobb in Maryland, thanks for being here. Margaret Nelson, thanks for being here in the Carolinas. Thanks for being here, Margaret. Is your birthday? It's your birthday. Naomi Drucker, thanks for being here. Audrey Brown, thanks. I missed that. Audrey Brown, thanks for being here. Neon Harding, thanks for being here. Chiselle Chipper. I didn't see that name flash by in a little while. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here this morning. Anissa, thanks for being here as well. It's your birthday, man. It's your birthday. Thanks for being here. I'm trying to skip through the comments. I'm not seeing it though. It's your birthday. Ethelyn Peters, good to see you on the live this morning, Ethelyn. All right, to see Andrew saying happy birthday. If I ain't seen this, who? All right, Andrew Griffith, good morning to you, sir. Anissa Yearwood, thanks for being here. All right. Michelle Lewis, thanks. Michelle Lowe, rather. Thanks for reminding us. I saw some teachers invited to a meeting. I thought the judge talked to you already. Select teachers invited to a meeting. I thought the judge talked to you already. Sonia, happy birthday. I missed it. Sonia, happy birthday. Thanks, Margaret. Happy birthday, Sonia. Happy birthday, Sonia. Have some cake for all of us. Happy birthday, Sonia Massey Cobb. Thank you so much, Sonia, for all you do for us. Thank you so much. God's richest blessing, God's guidance, Sonia. Please and thank you. Good to have you on the live this morning. Marilyn says she's not in region 11, she's in region 10 today. She's not in the diaspora there in Queens, in Brooklyn. She's in region 10 today. No doubt home for Tongue Week. No doubt she's home for Tongue Week. Good to have all of you folks on the live this morning. Have a fantastic rest of the day. We're going to see you guys this evening. Pace and power, folks. We're going to see you guys this evening. Take care.